Everyone. Can you see me? Can I see you? I'm here. We're here. Okay. Hello, everyone. If you're catching the replay, welcome. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark. And this is Smoky Steve and Mark. Welcome or welcome back, and happy Friday, TGIF indeed. Now, we ended up doing a live because I was keeping up with my Foodie Beauty, catching up with Foodie Beauty, and I just couldn't get myself to do the recorded content. She's live right now, if not just ended. She was talking about how she got bumped from her last apartment, a recent apartment. That's today's drama. This is why life isn't fair for her today, because she got apparently, allegedly, rejected for another apartment. So that's what this live is about. Going back into the last 24 hours, our fair lady told quite the tall tale of going to the airport, having an Ophelian meltdown, creating a scene, yet somehow made it home no fuss, no muss, no foul. So, Foxy, hello, how are you? I should have asked Mark to get me. I might get that myself. Do I have anything nearby? 1 second, please. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Is she telling tons and tons of lies and misleading crap? Was it just another reason to put a little push behind the collection plate? I'm inclined to think so. Hello, hey Tuxedo, hey Moxie. Snack time is not really different than coffee time, coffee talk, or dinner time. If I mention Foodie in the title or her picture pops up on the thumbnail, then she's, if not center of the thing, fair game. Now, I know Charlie Gold is live right now, too, but she's talking about that quirky, whatever her name is, QRL, whatever she is. She's talking about her and some sort of drama there. So, Charlie's over there doing that. Like I said, Foodie is on now. And as I was trying to keep up for the last 48 hours, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, I used to be able to spin a yarn. I used to be able to spin a really good yarn, but the details with which she went into with this whole fake airport story, in my opinion, fake. Was, I think, just to draw in more money. I don't know Rosie like that, Joan. I don't have good or bad input. I know a lot of the same people that react to, like Chantal and Booty. She falls into the line with them. Some people kind of put glitter and lasers in the same girl world kind of vibe, too. For me, it's always just been Amber and Chantal. Oh, for snack? While we're here, Mark made tuna. I'm having tuna salad on light toast. This is actually keto bread from Aldi's, what have you. I'm watching my carbs. I'm not going keto. I'm not doing low carb. But one of the medicines I take screws the way you metabolize carbs. So keto bread. I pickled carrots, and I'll give Chantal my secret, and a few little unsalted pretzels. Between the keto bread, the carrot sticks, the diet soda, I'm old. All my modified food is further modified. But so goes. I suppose. Oh. So picture it. Just for the sake of catch-up. Chantal goes on and talks about how she doesn't feel like she can stay anymore. I can't stay there anymore. I can't be here anymore. Blah, blah, blah. I've got to get out. I've got to change my ticket. I've got to get out of here as soon as possible. So, we go, apparently, with Sala for an hour-and-a-half drive to Damascus, to the airport. And she's there. She gets checked in. She gets as far as them ripping her boarding pass. So she's played as though she's gone to the airport, gotten her way around, found her way there. She set up having a health crisis, and she laid the groundwork of said health crisis by saying she didn't eat, and she took extra insulin to cover her for the trip. This is what she had alleged. Now, I know there's, like, immediate release insulin, and then there's, like, insulin that maybe takes care of you over a period of time, but for how much she gave to herself, she would have been in a coma, probably, for what she alleged. But that was possibly the reason that she fainted. The wilting flower fainted and fell apart at the airport, and everybody was looking. It was such a scene. I don't know if you've ever passed out, blacked out, had a seizure. My experience is very different than hers. Mine was we're talking, 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 and the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the chair going, what happened? My memory will like shut off. She seems to have had the full awareness of fainting as though she were awake the whole time. I don't know that she even went to the airport. I think it was another one of those things to give you a false sense of urgency, to put more weight on Wanda and the other well-wishers, to be like, God, she really needs to get out of there. We really got to make this happen for her, guys. I don't know, Annie, about the don't talk to me scream. It's not beyond Chantal to make up more, to make up grander things. I think that anything that's outrageous right now is a lie. It's very boring to be dumped. Being dumped and hanging out in a place you're not wanted anymore and making up excuses and lies and stories, I don't know. It's possible for Salva's sake that he thought she might have been leaving. But I think he wants her gone, like yesterday, because at this point, she's just extra. I don't think she's contributing anything to his family there in Syria. I think he's taken a different look. Maybe he's not as much of a wet rag as he was when she met him. Maybe having some family and some support and a purpose. He doesn't sit around all day to see who's talking about him online. He's probably doing something else. And it gets really boring when her whole life is, you never see her get up. She's always in one place. And every time you come through the room, she tells you about what assholes these people are, what assholes those people are. And then feeds you some other line and says, can you get me takeout? I think he's done. I think he wants her out. It's possible, if she did go to the airport, this I'm not getting on the plane thing was to go back and stay with him. The doctor said I medically can't fly. If she needed that doctor's note, then it was to go back with him. Because who was going to turn him down? She can't medically fly. I'm not going to let her stay with me. So if there was a trip to the airport, that's, I think, how it went. She got there, maybe had a panic attack of some kind, or faked one, cried to Saleh, he came and got her. Allegedly. So that's an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, again an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. And she only ever seems to ask him to drive when he's really tired, because every time he has to go somewhere, she's like, oh, and he was so tired. So, if it happened, it was to get Saleh to be okay with her coming back, because she has a doctor's note for staying unwelcome in your family's home. Because who would put her out? I don't know. With the whole story, guys, I was getting on a plane. Now, she has tells as far as her lying goes. She has very specific tells. She says, a lot. And she had so many details with this, I think, lie that she was putting together. And the thing that she's doing, she's like, I need to get out of my tickets for the end of October. I need to get away sooner. Oh, money. Oh, money. Oh, money. Oh, money. And then she gets a little more money, and people seem to think, oh, good. Now she can follow through with that thing she asked for more money for. And then she doesn't follow through. Oh, I changed my mind. I'm just going to stay. Here's $1,200 for a Jazzy. Oh, I changed my mind. I don't even know where I'll use that in the winter in Canada. But she doesn't change her mind about keeping the money people donated to her. She changed her mind about what she's going to do with it, but she didn't ask you what you're going to do with it. Hello, hello. Nice to see you too. So if it did happen, it was all for Salah's sake, because she wants to be able to say, you can't have me leave now. I'm sick. The wilting flower can't get on a plane. Further, she said having had this experience, she now has some form of trauma and fear with flying. The woman who wants to be a travel vlogger has laid the groundwork that she has complex PTSD from going to the airport or pretending to go to the airport. So now she gets to be a baby every time she goes. She needs to get people to carry her around, and she needs it right to the door because she might break any time. So let's have the whole fucking airport walk on eggshells. Drive her, get her there, make sure she has a snack. They gave her the diabetic kit, which I thought was a fucking riot. It was like a banana, some orange juice, and a bottle of water. Apparently there's a lot of people in her situation. That made me think it was real, because she said the airport when this happened at the airport where she allegedly collapsed and everyone was seeing. The airport doctor, I know they got EMTs and stuff around. I don't know about doctor, but somebody had made an assessment that she shouldn't get on the plane, which is, I think, what she was looking for. So it's possible Salva took her to the airport and this was just to get him, to get him to come back to get her. Exactly. I forgot about the psych ward for cheese. You're right, Sandra. When she binged on cheese and needed to go get emergency care. Now, I will say, knowing Chantal, it's horseshit. But to say, if she ate a bunch of cheese and she was legitimately feeling unsafe, then good, go to the hospital. But when you eat a bunch of cheese and want to get out of a fight with your boyfriend about binge eating and promises broken, and then you go to the hospital to throw out a smoke bomb so you can disappear stage left to eat more cheese, she has different methods of lying. She has different layers of lying. And the medical excuse was bound to come up on the bingo cards because we've hit almost everything else. She's gaslit abuse. She's done her other go-tos that are supposed to make you open your wallet. Oops. That was Mom. Mom, if you're watching, I can't answer the phone while I'm on. Mom's just checking in to say hi, probably. Solid, a woman to be with. A woman who will move in and actually clean. Once Chantal was, out of mind. Like when you move into an apartment and they had dogs and it takes forever to get that smell out? No reason, just thought of that. Just thought of that. I think I have a voicemail. I do, it's Mom. So. Mark's signature tuna, which I've been asking him to make for a week and he didn't make. Now, why would she tell these big lies? Well, it was either for Salva's sake, and she got a doctor's note to go back and squat in his home, or, hey, Mr. McPhoebes, we'll catch up with you soon. We'll see you. We're going to probably we should be doing a chit chat with the both of us sometime soon. I'm going to put that bug in Mark's ear. So she either did it for Salva's sake to get the doctor's note to go back so he can't be too mad at her. She has this idea that if you're sick, people can't be mad at you. How about you're a woman with, diabetes who's acting like a bitch with diabetes? How's that? One doesn't get the other out of it. Just because you have a medical emergency doesn't mean you're not a complete asshole the rest of the time. So yeah, I feel bad for someone who's in tough times they can't help, but she depends on that feeling to whitewash the rest of this. That's how you get a whole chat full of morons right now telling her to take it easy and lay low because she's been so active and overexerting herself up till now. I don't hate Chantal, but she's full of shit. A lot of the time she's full of shit. And I don't know, you can't say it in her chat. You can't challenge her on it politely or rudely. So, of course, Chantal doesn't make her money telling the truth. The truth about her life is very boring. It's the lies that she tries to add a little color, a little story time, a little moonlight walk on the beach, a little this, a little that. Because otherwise, she's doing what everyone assumes. She's sitting on her side, playing on her phone all day. Exactly. From what? What is she resting from? From what? Because she has to take a long break from all that very, very busy what that she was doing. Nothing. She wasn't doing anything. She didn't have anything going on. His tuna's very good, I have to say. And I have to say, I'm not on keto, but if you've had the keto bread from Aldi's, it tastes like just white bread. Mmm. That's the thing. She said she walked all over creation, but she had the limp. Do we remember, because I do, and I don't do a channel where I keep clips, but she was on the beach with Sala. This was in Kuwait. And she was walking, and she was dragging her left foot behind her. And we never really saw footage of her limping like that again. But at the time, she was rocking a limp that she says she now has. So I'm so inclined to believe it's all a lie. She was probably lying then. She's probably lying now. Her name's not even really Chantal. His signature tuna, it's mayo, Hellman's. What's in here? Red onion, a little bit of lemon juice, green onion, some other stuff. I'll get him to make a video. And the carrots are actually just, I ate the pickles all. Yes, Kitty, you remember. She was dragging it behind her, totally clubbed out to the left, and just pulling it. So she was maybe laying the groundwork for disability later in case she needs it later. Or she has a legitimate problem that she's, you know, she was either faking it then or she's faking it now. So, but I did think when she was dragging her foot behind her, that's the kind of thing Chantal wouldn't disclose, because it would make everybody right that she's having health consequences, mobility consequences. At this point, she's saying she can't walk for more than 2 steps. The banality there is evil. I always assume there's truth is 10 times. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for the super chat. I'm inclined to agree. Oh yeah, so I ate all the dill pickles and put baby carrots back. They were kosher dill. And now they taste like dill pickles, but carrots. They're really good. Now here's me eating tuna with pickled Beauty Bite, pickled veggies. Oh, I need a pink wig and a cheese board and I'll be famous. My dad would make tuna too, Sandra. And Dad had signature tuna. It was not like anybody else's. We would have tuna and like soup. Or maybe on a Sunday if Mom was sleeping in or something. We'd have tuna on toast and soup. Something similar. Except for dinner. We had dinner at this table every night. But otherwise, meals were pretty much every man for himself. Like, I didn't eat breakfast before school. Ever. I don't think I had a bottle of water until I was 25. Beauty Bite. Beauty Bite. I was watching some of her live because I'm trying to be that guy who keeps up. You know, if I'm going to talk about her, I want to be on the up and up. And I was catching up with her. It was about half an hour in. And it was just bullshit. It was just people... It was her bitching about how she can't find somewhere to live. How these people, I guess, take her money but don't approve her for the apartment, which creates a great new reason to ask for more money. It's endless. Endless. Shh! I say shh. I forgot about that one, too. She was so much more entertaining when she wasn't, like, I don't know, trying to con her way out of the Middle East. The sickest part of this to me, I don't want to say sick, but the most unsettling part that makes her look bad is that she put herself in this situation where she's in Syria, not only against the advice of her probably family and viewers, but against the advice of the person she was coming to see. He said, don't come. I think he figured in a month he'd have somebody new or she'd forget and it would go on. And she turned around and went right back. So only she knows her reasons, but when you're, like, not really welcome anywhere, you need to start going, maybe it's me. When the best option you had was Syrian rubble, and you've been asked to leave there, maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. It is amazing what you can do in 3 years. I think a lot of us, I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of us are only maybe 2 or 3 bad decisions from really screwing up our lives. She's done it over and over and over and over again. Her biggest thing is that she puts her head in the sand. And she puts her head in the sand to life's problems, and she does it with pizza with extra cheese and with wheelchairs and with, you know, drama for drama's sake. And she doesn't pay attention to the fact that everyone else in her life is like, you know, going on with their lives. Of course she's gonna go. Someone had said, and I mean, aside from rule 1, somewhere down there, maybe rule 3, 4, 5, Chantal will never willingly give up a man. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Yes, ostrich syndrome. She just everything down here to keep herself occupied. When she was like left alone without internet for a few hours, she was online screaming, hysterical, needy after that. So it goes. So it goes, I suppose. More tuna. She won't leave. She won't leave. She's saying it's mutual. It's not. It's not mutual. They're married. Right? In a culture where marriage is so important and sacred, the fact that he would not really think too hard about her just leaving and not coming back makes me think he wasn't so committed. The fact that she flew back against his wishes makes me think she is. Or at least wants to be. She's thinking one of these times he's going to turn around and be like, you know what, we've been together through thick and thin all these years, let's just make it work. He's not going to say it. Cautionary tale indeed, JC. It's a good lesson for the rest of us. I watch Chantal. I look at her choices. I reflect on myself. I look at my choices. How close are they? Am I thinking like her? Am I thinking from self? Chantal only exists. Things only exist to Chantal, call me Chantal, in relation to her. So she's in her chat talking to people. But because once the chat goes off, those people don't exist or have lives to her. You know, and it's not even a way of like they're not friends. It's like it doesn't occur to her that people have relationships that don't involve her, that there are countries she doesn't live in, like that have she doesn't care unless it relates to her at all. And she's highly suspicious after 8 years on YouTube. She was talking about how she thought maybe landlords were suspicious of her YouTube income. I don't know. If I was filling out my application and I had to list YouTube as my job and then the income, I could see where a landlord might be sketchy, but you want to show them some, you know, you want to show them a pay stub. You want to show them something that says what you made over a period of time. But if she shows the last 3 months pay stubs, it's going to look like she's been making less and less and less. She might have met the income cutoff, you know, maybe a year ago, but now she wouldn't. I think she's going to have to find, if she's getting an apartment, which at least a room for rent situation is going to happen, she's going to have to bite the bullet and just live with someone. I think last time the landlord lived the last time she went to Canada to start life over and then went back. She didn't like the landlord living there. It felt too close for comfort. I think that was probably a like handshake kind of deal to get her an apartment. Like someone knows someone who knows Chantal and they're going to let her stay there for a short period to rent a room. And to turn around like this to that and say, well, screw it, I'll go back to Syria. You now don't have that to come back to. It was suggested, who said it? I forget, and it was a decent suggestion. Someone had suggested that actually she still has that place in Canada. She never left it. She's just been visiting Syria now, and she's going to go back and live in Canada. Because she did want to buy a lot of crap for the space she had that would either be in storage, it didn't exist to begin with, or it's holding down somebody else's place. Traveling overseas, I think, would be a red flag for the landlord. You're probably right, Mike. Hello and welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah, all the traveling, the money coming from here and there. What is she going to pay? Like in 20s? Like, Chantal has sketch written all over her. And thing is, though, what's to stop? What if she could ask for the previous landlord's references? Well, the very last one, she left in the middle of the night, said, I can't do this, and was gone. And then the one before that was the villa. And people in her chat are already saying, just get Pete's to sign on for it again. Just get Pete's to be the one again. So, she had all that other shit she bought. It's in storage, or It's still in that place. She is short-sighted enough to spend a lot of money and then cut her nose off to spite her face. Like, money means very little to her because she doesn't have to work very hard to get it. So your money, my money, whatever. She's just going to sit online and beg until she has enough to leave. She's made it very clear. She's totally forfeited her pride on this. She's not going to entertain you. She's not going to do anything else for you. She's going to sit there until you give her enough money to leave. Victorian era home split into small apartments. The landlord was close. That's what I had thought. Like one of those, not a complex, not a condo, but, you know, our building here was, originally it was a single family home. It was huge. LA, hello, hello. And it was cut into like 5 or 6 apartments. The apartments are still big. The landlord doesn't live here. I wish Pete would stay away from her, but he won't. Good old Pete's. Good old Pete's. He'll not leave her willingly. Like, he can be pissed off at her and catch an attitude, but he's not gonna, like, stop talking to her or stop hanging out with her. That's why she landed on him, I think. Plus, they've known each other for years. He knew Chantal before she was like this. He knew Chantal before YouTube. I wonder what kind of a different person she might have been before. Because she's not now. But prior to YouTube, she was working graveyard at a call center with Pete's, as far as I knew. And now after 8 years of doing nothing, she never had, like, particularly taxing work prior to YouTube. If she found herself in a position where she couldn't make money as a YouTube star. And that's kind of the thing. Like, for how many years she's on YouTube, she's not diversified across a lot of platforms. She's not over here doing stuff on Discord and then over here doing stuff on, even, like, she has an Instagram. But that's it. Nothing else. So if YouTube cuts off, that's it. She has no other places she can say, go watch my videos over here. Go watch them over there. Those communities aren't established. So if something happened to her YouTube paycheck, she would have to very quickly, in a panic, create a new account so she can go live and cry. Oh, she can't go live on a new account. Well, she would try to find her hustle so that she could get on and get some more. She would put Pete's up to the business of getting money sent to her. Here's Chantal's PayPal. Send her money, even though you're here to see me. Lazy? I would say that's right, to diversify. Like, we like doing YouTube. It's our, like, it's a little part-time job, and it's a fun hobby, and it's the thing we do together as a couple. I can't imagine the amount of drama that would come from, Yes, Pete's is beyond saving. Pete's is a doormat. He will stay a doormat. He will not be anything but a doormat. He'll play big man in his chat. He gets all upset. And I'm going to press buttons, and that'll show you how much of a joke I'm not. Block, block, block. That kind of thing. I'd rather sit in Pete's chat for 3 hours than hers, though. Having sat in her chats, and I'm keeping up with them live or sniped, recently, just because things have been changing so quickly, you realize how much of her chat is just nothing. It's just, hi guys. It's just, ugh. Pete's doesn't know Pete's very well. Pete's is going to probably just slink into the shadows of obscurity. And I don't know if he'll be showing his face again. He's not as valuable to Chantal as he once was as part of the channel. Now, if he can pay the rent and help her give a place to live, then, you know, that's something. But is she going to find a place that she can get on her own and then invite Pete's just to be nice? No. If she needed him, they'd live together. But if she doesn't need him, clearly when she moved back to Canada, she didn't. So, he's exhausted his usefulness. Now he's having some more subsidized income from what I understand, and just kind of laying low, which maybe that's best for him. Maybe it's best he lives, you know, living, you know, up all night, eating Hot Pockets, talking about anime and cyberspace. Like, maybe that's his calling. There's plenty of other people doing it. Oh yeah, Pete's gets his digs. Pete's gets his digs in. He had a few gems that he would just drop in here and there. So funny. Because you could tell, he would say things like, she smells. In his chat, she said that she smells like cheese. And people would go into his chat to try to pull out information about her. I agree. I don't need to talk down about his plans because I think we all have a certain pace of life that we're comfortable with. I have friends that live like jet set. When they're not on a plane, they're on a train. When they're not on a train, they're on a plane. They're staying somewhere. And that's a lot of, that kind of lifestyle. Mine's a little more low key. I'm probably closer to Pete's than that. Caesar's going to snap on her. Well, Pete's is prone to snapping. We've seen he's snapped and tantrumed in his chat. He's one of those builds up, and then boom. So, I don't know. But neither of them. Yeah, he always snitches on her. It's so funny. He always snitches on her. Panda, hello. He will release she needs this much money. Oh, she's going to be living here. Oh, this. And he's got to be playing dumb to her. I didn't know you wanted me to keep that secret. Their whole relationship is this buffoonery mixed with passive aggressive, mixed with they have old sexual tension, which is apparent. Remember the time Chantal got intoxicated and forced herself on Pete's? On live? So she at least thinks that she can still pull that angle with him. I was a different person then. No, you weren't. You were just sitting somewhere different. She wasn't a decidedly different person. The drunk, exactly. If any man was under the influence and pushed himself onto her, and her explanation was, well, he didn't push me off. Okay. She might not be the best one to gauge consent, I don't know, Elizabeth. I don't believe it. Honestly, I don't. I think it was just another one of those things that if I had more money urgently, I could get out of here faster. And then the next day, guys, I'm fine. She just, it didn't happen. These people that she was afraid of, if anything happens to me, it's going to be them. And then she goes back, I'm fine. And then another one of those hysterical meltdowns. No, she's fine. People sent a little extra money. As soon as she gets to that total she wants, she'll be gone, but not before. And it doesn't matter what kind of lie she has to tell. I mean, her video was buffering. I can't imagine the nerve to beg. No picture, just her little thing in the middle, buffering periodically. And when it's not buffering, in broken up language, she'll tell you how much money she needs and how awful life is. How life is so unfair. Why does she think she was turned down for the apartments? Someone in her chat suggested it would have to do with Islamophobia, which is so stupid. But that's Chantal. It's so stupid that she would have to face Islamophobia because she's not a Muslim. She just dresses like one for YouTube. It's her persona, Miriam, isn't it? Just a persona. That was my old life with Sala. $30's a lot. Well, she was making up that she shot herself up with 30 to hold her over. And then she didn't eat for that back. So she was laying the groundwork and she was telling the chat, I know, guys, you can tell me I'm stupid. I know you can be mad at me for doing the stupid stuff with playing doctor with her own medicine. Oh, a practicing Muslim? I would think. Very much to themselves. No issue, no problem. But that is not Chantal. Chantal was a Muslim in costume. She is not a Muslim in practice. And even Muslims in practice fuck up like members of any other religion do. It's not that everyone who's a Muslim is 100% on point all the time, any more than any Christian or any Hindu or anybody else would be all the time. But the goal and the targets in Islam tend to be pretty conservative. She's not even halfway there. She's not even pretending anymore. I'm sure she's sitting around probably in the same position she's been since she got there, chewing up air conditioning, chewing up power. Same old, same old. Garlic bread spoke an interesting bit about, the airport. He had done a live and he was talking about it too. And he had pulled up the departure times and leaving times. And what happened to her was supposed to have been like, I called the EMTs and got proper care. Stop watching YouTube. Yeah. She didn't. No. She's got to stay on. I think she's aware, T-Girl, that she is such a joke that she, if anyone does take her seriously, she kind of laughs. Like, anyone who expects anything out of her that is, like, consistent with tradition, with the faith that she said she chose, nothing. She didn't learn the language. She didn't bother to pray. She found every excuse to get out of doing absolutely anything that involved the faith and the traditions. Not going to a mosque. I can't sit down to pray. She didn't know which way Mecca was. She doesn't eat the food. She gorges. And she used to be able to say, well, yes, but my handsome husband. Now you're just a swinging, single, ex-Muslim broad with no home and nobody looking forward to you coming to visit. That's sad. That's unfortunate. No one is happy to have Chantal come home right now. Yeah, she'll be like, oh, look, the call to prayer's ringing. It's like a reminder to go refill her drink. It's amazing. Taking too much insulin is very, very bad. It is very, very bad. It is an ass-backwards form of attempting unaliving oneself at a certain amount. But I agree with that. Self-aware and responsible, those things are different. Anybody could make a mistake, small or big, with their medication. One time I took my nighttime meds in the morning and then went to work. The stuff that I try to sleep off is not pretty around noon or 1. I had to leave work early because I was too sedated, tired and groggy like I would be during the day. And it was a mistake I made. Things happen with meds. But I didn't decide, since I'm not going to take any for a while, I'm just going to take a whole bunch now, like they're vitamins, and hope they last me through. I don't take, like, extra Zyprexa to hold me through the flight. You know, you just... I don't know. She's never taken care of herself. Why would it start now? And she's always used her health as an excuse to get out of things, or to get away with things, or to manipulate a situation. I can't imagine, if she did go to that airport, the tone when she called Salva to come pick her up. They were probably all dancing and laughing and cheering each other on, and next thing you know, she's like, I need you to come get me at the airport. That's what I was saying, garlic bread. Time-wise, it doesn't make sense. If she had this giant meltdown, the flights that she was going to get on would have probably been delayed by a certain amount. And that wasn't what was found from the sleuthers, that the flight she would have been on would have actually taken off on time, if not like a little bit early. So for her having this huge giant meltdown, and you know the smallest of things will hold up a flight for an hour. Any little thing will. This 400-pound woman having a meltdown on the chart, like, you think would probably delay the flight. And every time she changes it, it's more money. So it's another excuse to ask for more money. I know, he was probably... I think he was ready to do that thing where all the guys dance together and they put their hands together and kick and do that. I think they were all ready to do that. And then the phone rang. I need you to come get me. It's medically impossible for me to leave right now. So, like I said, it was either to get Salah's hopes up, because he asked her to leave, and then her saying, well, medically, I can't leave right now. Well, today she's talking about how she doesn't have a place to live. When you were going to run away yesterday, where were you going to go? You were going to get a hotel for a while, probably, right? She was laughing about having to get a cheap motel because she was escaping what she was gaslighting was domestic abuse. So, party's over. She's coming home. Dun, dun, dun. She's coming back. Clean off her side of the couch. I think she's done with them. I think they're done with her. I think this is impression management at this point. She's trying to manage how it looks like her leaving, that it looks like it's on her terms for her reasons. Not even mutual. She can't do mutual. Because the second that they were not going to be together, and he was not that upset over it and went out with family, she was upset. Because it's about him being upset about it. He wasn't upset. Well, if he wasn't happy, why the fuck would he be upset? If you're unhappy, why wouldn't you be upset? She still has feelings for him. He could turn around tomorrow and say, Chantal, Chantal, and she'd be right there. Never leave a man willingly. Now, we're challenging that stance that she will never leave a man willingly by the serious situation. She's going to keep going back to the situation he's in. It means nothing that he might not want her there. Natter didn't want her there. She showed up anyway. She showed up and then brought the police with her when he wouldn't let her in. So she's not afraid of making a scene. She's not afraid of manipulating circumstances, even as far as the law goes. You know, when she would go to, say, file charges and then make allegations, but then drop the charges, which means you just told everybody something that you have no proof of, and want to be taken on your good word. That's a hard one to put people over a barrel. If you're a known liar and then you want to say that you're the victim of abuse, you're putting people in a very difficult position to take you seriously. I think. I mean, Steve. She can't do Villa 2.0. That shit's done. She can't afford that place. That place would be more expensive now going back. Real estate is very, very different. Those in the know in Canada, who I tend to ask for information or for bits on, say that it's very, very different. It's very, very expensive now. Not that it wasn't before, but it's even more so. And if her income is cut, say, in half or a third of what she was making, she's making $20K a month, paying no taxes on it. Sure, she has plenty of money to pay the rent and get some wheelchairs and invite friends over. Like Natter. Who was the only other friend they had in the villa besides Natter? Is Pete, I think. Whenever I bring up if I put Foodie Beauty in, I get a short recommendation that's her and Natter dancing in her living room. Remember that one time he visited? Like, once, and then I think Pete's didn't even come out of his room. Pete's didn't like Natter. I didn't like Natter, personally. But I wasn't the one trying to date him and exploit him. So I didn't have to like him. Yeah, even the place in the summer. Everything's more expensive, and she doesn't have the money coming in. Yeah, if anything happens to me, it's them. 2 days later, can you pick me up, guys? They must think she's deranged. Like, absolutely insane. And she blames it on my mentals. She sounds like the other one. Saying that something happened because of your mental health. And I say this as a person with a mental health concern. Several that are being, have been addressed, are being addressed, sometimes good, sometimes poorly, but have been for the last so many years. Saying that you did something because of your mental health may explain it. It doesn't excuse it. That doesn't suddenly mean Salah can't be pissed off at you just because if you did have some sort of medical event and you came back to a home you weren't welcome, why wouldn't you just go to a hotel in Damascus? Why do you have to go back to stay with him? So you were so desperate to get out, you needed the money to do it, but you changed your mind about traveling, but not about returning the money. Like, if I was going to ask for a bunch of money from the chat to go buy a car, and then I come on and say, guys, you'll never guess what my mom bought me. A brand new car! While I've been collecting money, hundreds, thousands, in the meantime. Wouldn't you think people would ask, well, what about the money we gave you to buy a car? What are you going to do with that if someone bought you a car? Chantal's made it clear that once you give it to her, it's it. So he kicked her, then he didn't, then he did. It's stupid. He's only as abusive as she wants attention. Those poor, dumb women in her chat who think that being friends with her puts them in a cool little circle. She has to be deceiving them. I mean, there's no other way. She's not as nice as she pretends to be. She's as nice as she is when she's pissed. So, abusive, not abusive. People, when she's in the chat talking about how she feels unsafe, people are writing paper clips, which is what is coined as the, thing for domestic abuse, that she wants to let her chat know that she's unsafe, and then that shit starts to come up again. Just because you would also beat the shit out of Chantal, it doesn't mean Sala is necessarily. Just because I would want, doesn't mean that he is. Paperclip 2.0. You guys, and these people are riding this emotional roller coaster with her. Every 12 hours, she's crying, she's thrilled, she's sick, she's leaving, she's staying, she's starving, she's in a diabetic coma. The doctor says, stay, I want to go. This is all very, very, very fake. Makes for good YouTube. There's nothing interesting about her sitting there and begging every single day. I can appreciate that she's at least going through the motions of lying to sort of generate interest. But your best way to make money as a YouTuber is to make content, get paid for it, have memberships, provide something to the members, and then you'll have money. So you're obviously not a good YouTuber if you have to sit online and beg. Because anybody could do that. Anybody could say, I'm a well-known YouTuber. What do you do? Well, I went online and begged for about 3 weeks until my Beezers paid for me to shut up. Yes, Tuxedo. I'm inclined to agree. There's a kind of thinking about folks who are diagnosed or being treated with borderline personality disorder or whatever. They could give you a list of 100 things that if you do all of them, it will make them happy. And you could do all 100 for them, they will think of one more. They will always think of one more. There is a level of perpetual dissatisfaction meets victim that goes with it. Now, you could probably shove Chantal's personality into a few different boxes depending on who she's trying to scam at the moment. She has some mixed personality features from what people in the know, or at least assessing from watching her, say. All the titles are clickbait. All the titles she has are clickbait now. All YouTubers use clickbait. All YouTubers ask for money. Yes, but you did all of it right together. Like, hi guys, here's a fake title, which other people use, so I'm not wrong for using it. And I'm here to ask for money, which other people do, so I'm not wrong for doing it. Anybody can do what they want. If people don't want to give, they don't have to. Maybe they don't want to feel put upon to come into a chat and feel like, if I want to be in the in group, I'll give her a super chat. If I want to be in with all the other mods, then I better X, Y, or Z. And so then you're worried about impressing people more than actually assessing the kind of person she is. I think the family cut her off. If she's sitting in a war zone with pop pop in the background, and they still didn't send her some money to leave, then they're done. Then they're done. I think last time she was close to done. She said she had to take a bus from Ottawa to Cornwall, from Montreal to Ottawa, wherever she was going. One of the times she visited, she had to take mass transit because no one's going to come pick her up. Now, that's her family. Those are the people that know her well. How could a bunch of mods who've known her 3 months insist they know her better than her family who has cut her off? The people who know her best, who've known her longest, have decided it's in their best interest to stay away from her. So, fair warning for anybody else who gets close. The people that usually are the closest to others, not always. Blood isn't always the closest. Some people have chosen families and they're close with them too. But even if you want to call Pete's chosen family, because he's been around as long as some other people and he's in the loop, she treats him like crap too. So, I don't know. Well, guys, it's been about, what are we coming up to? We're almost coming up on the hour. So, thoughts going forward. We're going to end this live with me. I'm going to commit to saying the airport story was a complete lie. I've been going back and forth by saying it's a lie, but if it's not a lie, it was for Sala. I'm going to say it was just another attempt to gin up some more money from people to create a false sense of urgency. I have to get this money to her so she can get out. It's urgent. The stepdad probably hates her. The stepdad is probably going out on his deck having a cigar every fucking night. Every night she goes online and has to beg for money. I hope the family's watching and toasting. You know how much time she probably had? 3 times? She doesn't come from money. She was probably one of the wealthier people in her family at the height of her income. How much did she spoil them? Remember, she bought all that weed and alcohol and then smoked it and ate it all herself? That was how much she loved them. So, yes, this false sense of urgency. So we've had the medical urgency. We've had the he's going to abuse me urgency. We're going to have some sort of governmental, I have to get out of here urgency. Some sort of, my passport's going to be revoked. I need to leave immediately. And then something will happen to it. Somehow, Sala made it okay. So those few $100 extra that you guys sent for me to change my flight, I'll hold on to those. But just know I'm staying. So in 24 hours, it went from she's not doing anything different to she's not doing anything different. But in the meantime, we had a tall tale and a reason for people to give her more money. The money's the bottom line. She'll say anything. Anything. Yeah, Mary. Ate and smoked everything, all by herself. She's a nightmare of selfishness. At any rate, I'm going to say that the airport story was a lie. I'll stick with that. It's usually the safe bet, with rule number 1 being what it is. I do think Sala wants her gone. That I do believe. It's possible maybe they got as far as getting in the car. She had a panic attack and said she had to stay. He took her to a doctor. Some combination of little bits of facts. Sometimes there's a little bit of truth mixed in. But by and large, I think it was just a push to get more money, to create the false sense of urgency so that people would give her money so she could get out of there faster. If not get out of there faster, have the money faster. So, I know. What does it say about her that it makes me feel sorry for Sala? Sala. He's looking much more innocent and much more sympathetic a character as time goes on. Not in the same way. Nader didn't look sympathetic. They treated each other like shit. I don't know what Sala did off camera, but I would take his word over hers. She's a known liar. It would be news if he was, but she's a known liar. So you can't go by what she says. Unless there's proof or somebody else says it too, it's might as well be, it's a lie. So, I don't know. But in the interim, I'm going to finish my tuna sandwich, vape a little bit. It is Friday night. Now, for her, I know it's, what is it here on the East Coast? It's about 6, 7. It's coming up on morning there, I think. Just in time for her to go to bed soon. So, we'll keep up there. We'll check over the weekend. I'll be live probably another time, maybe on Sunday. Maybe have another video up, so we shall see. So do go and do something enjoyable with your TGIF. Enjoy the fact that you're not fleeing tyranny or lying about being a mess at an airport in an international mess. Enjoy the fact that your life is very different and that you have it maybe a little better, hopefully. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the thumbs up if you'd be so inclined. We also have memberships available now. So they are $2.99 a month, and you get access to member benefits. So we have photos and other content that comes out live. So check it out, see if you're inclined. Our contact info and all that stuff is below as well. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and we will catch up with you soon. All right? Thanks for watching. Bye. Say goodbye, Mark. He's outside. Bye from Mark.